The sky bleeds from orange to purple, that in-between time when the day hasn't quite let go, but the night is already reaching in. Margaret stands at the front door, her hand finding the switch without looking, the same motion she's made for 23 years. Click. The porch light flickers on, washing the front steps in warm yellow light. Outside, the street is quiet. Mrs. Henderson waters her roses 3 houses down. A jogger passes, earbuds in, lost in her own world. Margaret's hand lingers on the doorframe, feeling the smooth paint under her fingers, worn thin in this one spot from all the years of touching it just like this. 6 o'clock. Right on time. She pulls her phone from her pocket and snaps a quick photo through the window. The porch light glowing against the deepening sky, the welcome mat she bought last spring, the potted mums starting to brown at the edges. Her thumb hovers over the family chat. She types nothing, just sends the image, the way she has every evening for the past 2 years. The habit started when Ben was 17 and working late shifts at the movie theater. Then Sarah got her license and started staying out with friends, pushing curfew, testing boundaries the way teenagers do. The porch light became her signal. I'm here. I'm waiting. Come home safe. Michael had rolled his eyes at first. Her youngest always did. But even he'd admitted once that seeing that light on when he pulled into the driveway made something in his chest unclench. She remembers one night in particular, Sarah's senior year. 2 in the morning and no word, phone going straight to voicemail. Margaret had sat on the porch steps in her robe, that light burning above her head like a prayer, watching every pair of headlights that turned down the street. When Sarah's car finally pulled up, 45 minutes past curfew with a sheepish apology about a dead phone, Margaret hadn't yelled. She'd just stood there under that light, arms crossed, and Sarah had burst into tears right there on the driveway. I saw the light on from 3 blocks away, she'd whispered. I knew you were waiting up. I'm so sorry, Mom. Now, Ben lives in Denver with his wife and their new baby. Sarah's in graduate school in Boston, sharing an apartment with 2 roommates Margaret has never met. Michael took a job in Austin 6 months ago, his first real position after college, and calls her every Sunday, but never quite long enough. Margaret moves back to the kitchen, where her dinner sits half-eaten on the counter. Leftover chicken from the small breast she'd baked, telling herself she'd have it for lunch tomorrow too. A salad that seemed reasonable when she was making it, but now looks absurdly large on the plate. All that lettuce for just 1 person. She used to make dinner for 4 without thinking, her hands automatically reaching for the big pot, the family-sized box of pasta. Now she forgets, catches herself halfway through a recipe, has to stop and recalculate. Divide by 4, round down, make less. The house settles around her. All those familiar creaks and sighs, the hum of the refrigerator, the tick of the old clock her mother gave her. She's learned the specific quality of silence that comes from being the only person home, the way it's different from the silence when everyone's just in different rooms, about to emerge, asking, "What's for dinner?" or "Have you seen my keys?" Her phone buzzes. Margaret glances down, expecting the usual thumbs up from Ben, maybe a heart emoji from Sarah if she's between classes. But the notification shows a photo from Ben. She opens it, curious. It's his front porch, the little Denver townhouse with the blue door she's only visited twice. But there in the frame, clear and bright, his porch light glows against his evening sky, mimicking hers exactly. Underneath, he's written 6 o'clock here too. Margaret stares at the image. Her first thought is confusion. Did he mean to send this? Is something wrong with his light? But then understanding washes over her slowly, like warmth spreading through cold hands. He turned it on purpose. At the same time, she did. She reads the message again. 6 o'clock here too. Her throat tightens. Another buzz. Sarah this time. Another photo. Her apartment building in Boston, the shared entrance with its old brass fixtures and worn stone steps. Someone, Sarah, it must be Sarah, has turned on the light above the door. The Boston sky behind it is darker, an hour ahead, full night already settling in. The message reads, "Keeping the tradition alive." Margaret sets the phone down on the counter like it might break, her hand shaking. She presses her fingers to her lips. They're doing it too. All of them. They've been watching. The phone buzzes a third time and she actually gasps, reaching for it with both hands now. Michael, his rental house in Austin, the one with the quirky green shutters he'd sent her pictures of when he first moved in. His porch light blazes yellow bright in the frame, maybe a shade brighter than hers, but unmistakably the same gesture. His message comes through. Turns out I had to buy a timer for this. Who knew being a grown-up meant caring about porch lights? Margaret laughs, a sound that breaks through the kitchen silence like sun through clouds, half laugh and half sob. She picks up the phone with both hands, looking at each photo in turn. 3 porch lights, 3 front doors, 3 homes, scattered across 2 time zones, all connected by this one small ritual she'd started without thinking, without planning, just because she needed them to know she was waiting. She hadn't realized they were paying attention. All those silent photos sent into the family chat every evening. She'd assumed they were just being polite. When they reacted, just acknowledging her the way adult children do when their mothers reach out. But they'd been watching. They'd been learning. They'd been carrying it with them. Margaret wipes her eyes with the back of her hand and leans against the counter. Through the window, she can see her own porch light still glowing, steady and sure. She thinks about Ben in Denver, probably putting the baby down for the night. Emma singing softly the way she does. Sarah in Boston, maybe studying at her kitchen table, surrounded by textbooks and cold coffee. Michael in Austin, probably just getting home from work, loosening his tie, kicking off his shoes in the entryway. All of them taking a moment at 6 o'clock, or 7 or 5, depending on where they were, to turn on a light, to say, without words, "I'm here, I'm safe, I'm home." Her phone buzzes again. This time it's another message, not a photo. Sarah has written that she told her roommates about the porch light tradition, and now they think it's the sweetest thing ever. Her roommate Julia wants to start doing it with her own family. Then Ben sends another message. "Emma asks about your porch light," he's written. "I told her someday we'll teach her to turn on ours. Keep the chain going." Michael chimes in with his response. "This is very sappy, and I'm blaming Mom entirely. But also, I kind of love it." Margaret's thumbs hover over the keyboard. She tries to type but has to stop, blinking hard, trying again. Finally, she manages to write back. "I didn't know you all noticed." 3 dots appear immediately. Ben responds first. "Mom, he's written. Of course we noticed. You did it every single night. Even when we were being jerks and staying out too late. Even when we didn't say thank you. We always saw it." Sarah replies next. "It meant you were there, that we had somewhere to come back to." Michael adds his message last. Still does, actually. Margaret sets the phone down and walks back to the front door. She opens it, stepping out onto the porch into the cooling evening air. The light above her head casts its warm glow down, illuminating the space where her children used to stand, shaking off snow in winter, brushing off rain, laughing with friends, saying goodnight to dates, coming home tired and happy and safe. She'd thought this ritual was hers, something she did for them, a way of holding on when they'd already left. But standing here now, understanding that they'd taken it with them, that it was living on in 3 new homes, spreading like light itself, she realizes it was never about holding on at all. It was about giving them something to carry forward, a small piece of home they could recreate anywhere, a way of saying, "I'm here," that didn't require them to actually be here, a thread connecting them that distance couldn't break, woven from something as simple as flipping a switch and taking a picture. Her phone buzzes one more time. Another photo in the chat, but this one's different. It's a screenshot of their text conversation. All 4 porch lights visible in a grid. Hers, Ben's, Sarah's, Michael's. 4 lights burning across the country. Someone, probably Sarah, has drawn little arrows connecting them, and written across the top, "Home is everywhere now." Margaret traces her finger across the screen, touching each light in turn. Denver, Boston, Austin, here. She thinks about her own mother, gone 5 years now, who used to leave the kitchen light on when Margaret was young, a beacon visible from the end of the street. She thinks about how these small rituals get passed down, transformed, made new by each generation while keeping their essential meaning intact. The street is darker now. The last of the daylight finally surrendered to evening. Margaret takes one more photo, this time of herself on the porch, the light glowing above her head, her face smiling despite the tears on her cheeks. She sends it to the chat with a simple message. "Thank you for taking home with you." The responses come quickly, a flurry of hearts and smiley faces, and "I love yous." Margaret stands on the porch reading them, the autumn air cool on her skin, the light warm above her head, and for the first time in 2 years, she doesn't feel like she's waiting for anyone to come home. Because they already are home, all of them, right now, in 4 different places, under 4 different skies, connected by the simplest thing imaginable. A light left on at 6 o'clock, a small promise kept, a way of saying across all the miles between them, "I see you, I'm here, we're still together." Margaret goes back inside, leaving the porch light burning the way she always does. But tonight, it feels different. Tonight, it's not just her light, it's theirs too. A constellation they made together without realizing it, spread across the country, each point steady and bright and home. She finishes her dinner standing at the counter, her phone propped against the fruit bowl, the family chat still open, the 4 porch lights glowing on the screen. The chicken tastes better somehow. The house feels less quiet, and when she finally turns off the kitchen light and heads upstairs for the evening, she leaves her phone on the nightstand, face up, so she can see those 4 lights one more time before she falls asleep. Outside, the porch light keeps burning. Inside, Margaret smiles. In the dark, understanding at last that some traditions don't end when children grow up and move away. They just multiply. They spread. They become something bigger than one mother's habit, something that belongs to everyone now. A shared language of light and love, and the promise that no matter how far apart they are, they're all still finding their way home to each other, one evening at a time. And somewhere in Denver and Boston and Austin, 3 more lights burn steady through the night, keeping watch, keeping faith, keeping home alive in all the places it was always meant to be.